The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
It is a Friday. It's a big Friday in Minnesota, and we've got your top 5 at 6, the things you need to know. Number 5 on the top 5 at 6, or in my world, it's number 1 because we're talking basketball. The Timberwolves schedule has been released. The Timberwolves will open the season on the road in L.A. in October. They will play on Christmas Day at Dallas, the team that sent us packing.
You know what I'm thinking about?
What
Cowboys, Vikings. It's all white noise now that the Viking season has started. Are you speaking of something? Even Wild. I love the Minnesota Wild, but at this time of the year, it's just white noise. But okay, Dallas.
But by the time Christmas rolls around, you'll be like, oh yeah, the Mavericks. I hate those guys.
That's right. And there was something about the playoffs and the Wolves and the Mavs, right?
That's exactly what it was.
I recall.
Let's see what we've got. We've got a lot of. We got the Celtics, the NBA champion Boston Celtics, coming in here January 2nd. The Denver Nuggets, the Warriors twice, December and January. This will probably be your last time to see Steph Curry and Draymond together. I mean, I imagine it's one of these days it's got to end. The team I'm most interested about in the Western Conference this season is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are the next young team who's about to punch their ticket. All Thunder games I will be attending. And if I have to steal tickets to do it, I'll be there.
And Oklahoma City?
No, here. No, when they come here. Sorry, let me rewind that. I'll be attending all the Thunder games here in Minnesota. I'll be going to as many games as I can get my hands on those. Yeah. My grubby little Wolves ticket hands. They're already reaching into people's pockets as we speak. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6, a group of kayakers and snorkelers off the coast in Southern California early this month came across an oarfish, also known as the doomsday fish.
Oh, dun, dun, dun.
It's a bizarre-looking fish that usually is way out in the deep sea. It can grow up to about 30 feet long. There have only been a couple dozen sightings over the last 120 years. The doomsday fish these people saw was already dead. Apparently, that foreboding nickname, they're associated with bringing in earthquakes and other bad news.
Sorry, Callie.
History says when you see one of these bad boys floating off the coast, there's an earthquake soon to come. So,
well, they've had a couple out there. Maybe that was the earthquake. Maybe it's not a big one coming.
I'm hoping that's the case. As my son moved to California, let me check. Oh, that's right, yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I haven't gotten a text about a tremor yet, so I guess all is well.
Does he know earthquake protocol?
What, the one you just put your head between your knees and scream? Yeah, I taught him well. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. Speaking of 3, we lost 3 people yesterday. First of all, let's just go right down the list. Greg Kinn. The breakup song, we play that on KQ occasionally. He had Jeopardy, a slew of hits in the early 80s for Greg Kinn Band.
Yeah.
He had a lengthy battle with Alzheimer's disease. Also, fascinatingly enough, had a hobby of breeding rare praying mantis. You know what that tells me? You know what that tells me?
He's weird.
He won the game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, good life, dude. You were able to just do a hobby like that you cared about,
right?
And you kept it to yourself too all these years. I mean,
poor mantises are left alone now.
Oh my God, what's going to happen to the mantises?
Well, let's just
pray for them.
They are in a prayer circle as we speak. Another loss yesterday from the world of rock. Jack Russell from the singer of the band Great White died. He was 63 years old. He had been diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, sick for a while. Great White had a minute there in the late 80s.
Sure.
They were poised to be like that breakthrough, like they were going to be right that next, like Def Leppard, and it didn't quite happen. But that said, they sold a few million records, had a few rock radio staples. We still play Once Bitten, Twice Shy.
Saw them at the State Fairgrounds. They were always showing up at Moondance Jam and these kind of places with Jack Russell, and he was then in and out of the band for a while. But I always thought he got the job done up there on stage.
Oh yeah,
that trench coat and cowboy hat.
They got Great White. You know, they're one of the many bands that the minute Nirvana hit, everybody looked at them and went, God, those guys are silly. Look at the teased hair and the makeup and all that. But that said, Jack Russell could always sing. God, he did a great Robert Plant. I mean, of all the people that do Zeppelin covers, he was as good as anybody.
Yeah.
And then third on our, the deaths come in threes. Go ahead, Zeb.
All right, let's fire it away.
Paul, true or false? Your teeth are about the same size and shape as a pig's. Look who's talking, beaver face.
Peter Marshall, the host of Hollywood Squares. Peter Marshall dead at, I believe, 98 years old.
That microphone, right? That is signature mic of his. With the long. Am I thinking of Peter Marshall?
Oh, no, that's Gene Rayburn.
Oh, I'm thinking of Gene Rayburn had the long.
He was sitting at the desk
It's
having
been
a
a minute.
cocktail. Peter Marshall, generally speaking, you just knew he had a gin and tonic behind that microphone. That's number 2 on your top 5 at 6. A lot of Vikings fans out there getting ready for the ticket. And by the way, no shortage of Vikings fans in Coon Rapids. Good morning, Coon Rapids. Thank you for being with us on the KQ Morning Show today.
Yeah. Love the Vikes up there.
Tavern, bar, pool hall. I need a Coon Rapids recommendation. If anybody's got one, hit me up.
Oh, and I know some too. I just got to get my bars straight. I don't know. Nothing off the top of my head.
We'll get one.
Yeah.
651-989-ROCK, the KQ Talking text line. Text me. Let me know where to be when I want to have a good time in Coon Rapids. There is a lifelong Minnesota Vikings fan who has season tickets. Check this out. Teresa Cahill logged into her mom's season ticket account on the app, and her season tickets are gone. All of them disappeared. Somebody hacked into her account and took her tickets. All 10 games gone. They're not even visible for her to see, much less use or transfer to a friend. The Vikings, according to the story, responded quickly, finding her comparable seats to replace the stolen ones.
But why not just give her back her stolen seats?
Why not void the seats that were taken and return her seats to her? I don't understand this.
I don't either. Are the seats going to go empty? You're going to let the person that stole them, I assume.
I'm stumped too, because working with all of these ticket apps and stuff like that, you as the venue can recall the tickets. You can just suck them back in.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know why they don't. Yes, you can
just suck them back in.
If nothing else, set up a sting and arrest somebody who probably stole tickets or bought tickets they didn't know were stolen. But the point is, do something. With comparable seats, that makes no sense.
I don't know. I'm not going to suggest it's an inside job and an employee wanted her aisle seats. I'm not going to suggest that at all. But
no, it's no one from the front office has a hacking nephew. No one. Finally, number 1 on your top 5 at 6. It is day 1 of a 3-day Metallica weekend. A gig tonight, a gig Sunday, and in between a few events all around town. The Metallica Takeover has begun. If you're walking around anywhere in the Twin Cities today and you think, what is that? What am I hearing? Is that an oncoming train? No, it's just a bunch of people driving around blasting Metallica music. There's a lot of that going on.
Right, or you'd be camouflaged in downtown Minneapolis today with all the black T-shirts.
Got black T-shirts
on. Look at that.
You're never going to be able to find me.
Hoo-hoo-hoo. All right, there you have it. There's your top 5 and 6.
It's cool. I don't know if you guys know this about comedians, but a lot of us, we like comic book characters and superheroes because we feel like we can relate. And I feel like I can relate to Wolverine, because Wolverine, he has those badass claws. I don't have claws, but I got a long pinky nail. I can scratch you if I get in the pinch. But Wolverine, he also has regenerative healing. That means he can get hurt, and he doesn't have to go see a doctor. He just heals himself. And I relate to that because I don't have health insurance. They're the same thing. I get hurt, I'm like, nah, I'm Wolverine. Wolverine. No copay. I am hella careful, man. Just
Greg Coleman is at Acme this weekend. Greg Coleman is in studio with us today at 9:25. Looking very forward to chatting with Greg Coleman. Also at 7:50, which is a little over an hour from now, Alice Cooper tickets will be in play.
Wow.
You will want to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, it's time to look back. Oh, I'll show you this. It is August the 16th, and on this day in 1948, Babe Ruth, the man whose home runs changed the way an entire sport was played, the man who popularized sports in America and made the Yankees the most famous sports franchise of the century, he died of throat cancer on this day, 1948, at the age of 53.
So what you're suggesting is maybe chain-smoking cigars in the dugout, probably not the best plan?
Not the best plan at all, no. 6,000 mourners went to St. Patrick's Cathedral for his funeral 3 days later. There were 75,000 people outside the cathedral.
The Babe.
75,000. Yeah. He was buried in a gorgeous Louis. Handcrafted oak coffin. His body, of course, shrouded in sausage casing. Natural casings. It was in the 20th century they introduced collagen and cellulose casing. And I mean, look, the guy loved hot dogs. You know, what can I say?
I mean, he buried him as a big hot dog.
That's how. Well, hang on. I'm sorry. No, that's not true. He was not buried in sausage casing. Sorry, I made that up. On this day in 1954, Sports Illustrated debuted with their first ever issue. The cover feature, first time Eddie Matthews of the Milwaukee Braves, of all people.
Yeah.
I read every issue of that magazine for decades, cover to cover. I loved and missed Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, we did not have a subscription to that one. We had a couple of other. We had what was the one that only came once a month? Anyway, we had that one, was kind of a cheap knockoff.
The Sporting News?
Something like that. I think it was just called Sports or something like that. But friends at school had it. So I got it about a week late, but I got it. And you're right. Read it, even the ads.
I remember very clearly 1991, the SI, just the Twins celebrating the World Series on the cover. That was it. Just no words, just the scrum at the pitcher's mound. I mean, if I think about Sports Illustrated, so many of those covers come to mind. That's one that jumps right off.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Friday morning. It is August the 16th. The Premier League is back this weekend. Oh, wait. We're not going to talk soccer for the next 3 hours? Okay, fine. That's just me. Very exciting weekend in Minnesota. Metallica here for a couple of shows. What Def Leppard and Journey, Green Day. What other gigs? Green Day, is that right?
Smashing Pumpkins are in town.
Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins tomorrow night. I'm going to be at Target Field.
Very nice.
Def Leppard, Journey, and maybe controversial, I'd be most excited to see Steve Miller Band coming Monday to Target Field.
Right. Yeah.
Boy, that's a big 4 in a row. That's crazy.
You got to cram them in. September will be here before you know it, and then snow.
Yeah, well.
It's the summer season. August, August is always the busy time. You get some in June, some in July, but then August, it's gangbusters, and then culminates with the State Fair. And boy, the State Fair, though, that's weeks away, right?
Yeah, we're still, what are we?
6 days, boys.
6 days, boys.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Nope.
Zoom.
Man.
We'll see you out at the corner of Cooper and Lee a week from today, next Friday, hanging out.
Very nice.
10:30. Yeah.
Oh, man.
With our new T-shirt, I'd like to see someone wear my pants. Is that what we're doing? What did you say yesterday, Ryder?
Who's going to wear my pants?
Yeah.
Who's going to wear my pants?
First person that comes out to the corner of Cooper and Lee and can wear this woman's pants wins a free koozie.
I have puked in the back alley behind the Uptown Bar.
Well, maybe it'll happen at the fair.
Maybe. Yep.
I actually puked in the Uptown Bar once. But anyway, moving along.
Well, if someone doesn't puke at the corner of Cooper and Lee next Friday, I think we're not doing ourselves a good. We're doing a disservice to the listeners.
That's what that s'mores beer is for.
Next time you're getting on a flight, you may arrive at the airport and you may go to check in and you may hear the airline person go, "I'm sorry, you're no longer allowed to fly this airline." That's never happened to me. It's never happened to any of us, but it did happen to a woman named Erin Wright. She was trying to check in to an American Airlines flight and literally was told, "Sorry, we have banned you from flying our airline." She was shocked and astounded. And here is Erin, a little bit of her TikTok video explaining why.
I went to check into my flight on my phone and it didn't work. So when I got to the airport, I went to the kiosk and it also errored. I just went to the help desk and it errors for them too. And they're like, "Let us call someone and get it fixed." They get off the phone and she's like, "You've actually been banned from flying American Airlines." And I was like, "What did I get banned for?" She was like, "It's an issue of internal security. I can't tell you." I then finally get an email from corporate security telling me that I have been banned because I was having sexual relations with a man on a flight while intoxicated. Well, let me tell you, I am a 24-year-old lesbian. Finally hear back from corporate security. I get a call being like, "Hey, we've reviewed your case, so we're going to take you off the no-fly list." So I ended up on the American Airlines no-fly list by accident, and I'm now out $1,000.
And she had a big cup of coffee before she shot that, apparently, or a latte, something like that. Well, I mean, I'd be flattered for a moment until I had to cough up $1,000.
Of all the things to be banned for, being banned for having joined the Mile High Club. Second coolest is they thought you joined the Mile High Club.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, because otherwise, what is it? You pissed yourself. You diarrheaed up the aisle. I mean, all the reasons we've seen people doing.
Picked a fight with someone.
Threw up on a flight attendant. There's a million reasons you could be banned. At least it's like, hey, kind of get a little street cred there, I guess.
Not exactly.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
And they specifically named a man because a lesbian could obviously be in the Mile High Club. But yeah, same thing. So I feel like those years have probably passed me by, but I had a solid decade or two in there where I thought I could have made this happen. Not that I tried. It wasn't a goal. I wasn't, at the airport trying to score on the plane. But if the opportunity arose, I would have taken it. But I still try and, in my head, understand how that could happen because when I go in the bathroom, I can't even sit down in there. I mean, not that I really want to or that I ever would, but if I had to, I don't even know how people sit down in there. No, and I'm 5'11", you're 6'12".
It's one of the it's one of the more uncomfortable versions of the game Twister I could ever imagine trying to play. It's like, no, this is not going to happen. Although every now and again, I'll see a video where someone goes, "Let me show you this Emirates Airlines International First Class cabin," and it is like an apartment in the air. I'm like, okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because not only could we join the Mile High Club, we can do some yoga. We could, it's just like it's a cabin.
Yeah.
But this is just you're just in a bathroom on a plane domestically. Not a chance in hell.
It could be one of those big long flights to Europe too, and it's dark. It's in the middle of the night. Everyone's asleep, but I still feel like someone's going to see me go into the bathroom after someone else too. Maybe I'm just a little not drunk enough. Although I did have a buddy, Nick, told me once. He asked me if he was in the Mile High Club because he was in the last row of a Frontier flight and got a handy under one of the blankets.
Oh, my.
From a gal. And
I'd give him a star for that.
Yeah, yes. I did. I thought that was fantastic.
Man.
Stranger, too.
Yeah, man. And here, what? Really?
Yeah, the love plane.
How did that come about?
I don't know. He was too particular on the details, but I suppose, glances exchanged, and a conversation turns into that, and then the blanket comes out, and, someone touches a knee, there's a brush here, and I don't know why.
All right, now I see the path.
Porn music for this? Dear Penthouse.
Man, really? I never thought this would happen to me. I was on a flight from Scranton to Toledo.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I support that airline.
I have been on flights where you get a really stimulating conversation going and you're both booked to the nearest hotel, your place or mine. I've had those happen, but not on the plane.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I got to travel with you, cowboy.
Well, that was a long time ago. And yeah.
Never. I mean, golly, the number of flights I've been on, never even anything approaching that. My God. Well, I definitely have a general vibe of I don't want to talk to anybody when I'm on a plane. I'll be friendly. I'm not going to be like rude, but my general thing is put on sunglasses, put on headphones, and then if you bug me, then what's your problem, dude? Look at me. I've given you the international symbol for I'm just going to sit here and quietly go through this flight.
You know what it is? It's always flights to Vegas.
It's
all
that explains
whipped
it.
Up and
I've heard
romances
many
in the
stories
air.
about scandalous flights to Vegas.
Enough said.
Sometimes I don't overlook Salt Lake City. A lot of crazy. There's no different. I mean, talk about a tale of two cities. Salt Lake City during the day, prim and proper. The sun goes down, the freaks come out.
That's what you've said before.
Oh my God, that city is like two different planets. At night, the people who are out at night are throwing off the shackles of repression with a Vegas-like intensity.
All right.
But I was thinking about that because an Alaska Airlines flight, it was actually on its way to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. It left San Francisco a little ahead of schedule, and it's going to Jackson Hole. But beautiful. My God, Jackson, Wyoming, that whole area, the Tetons up there.
Yeah, not bad.
Just beyond gorgeous. It's an Alaska Airlines / SkyWest flight. On its way, it's circling over Jackson Hole, and then the pilot comes on and makes this announcement to the people on the plane. Hey, really sorry, folks. This is a quote. I'm really sorry, folks, but due to me not having the proper qualification to land in Jackson Hole, we need to divert to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Talk about when you lie on your resume.
Thank you. And talk about when it's appropriate to lie to a plane full of passengers. The answer is, you know what? We've got the situation. The plane's fine, but we got to take you to Salt Lake City. Really sorry. We'll let you know we can get you Jackson Hole. You don't explain that it's because you're not qualified to land.
Oh, yeah, what in the hell? You knew where you were going. Did you think you would just figure it out when you got there? I took a radio job once. I said, of course I have radio experience. And they threw me in there, and I went, which button turns on the microphone? But you know what? Guess what? It wasn't landing a plane with a bunch of people on it. You dope.
Jackson Hole's Airport. It's a smallish airport. You got to come in at you do a couple of bank turns. You circle the airport a few times. You bring it. It's not just a straight up. It's not like Salt Lake City where you just see it from 60 miles away because there's nothing around.
Yeah.
It takes a little train. You got to be prepared. Now the airline is saying, look, this was a paperwork error related to flight crew. They just assigned the wrong pilot to the wrong thing or whatever, and I guess he didn't occur to him that he didn't know how to land there. Who knows what it is? I'm just going to assume someone was drunk, but that's me just assuming that. But there are downdrafts and wind shear. It's a tricky airport. Anyway, if I'm the pilot and I realize in mid-flight, oh wait, I'm not actually cleared to land there. Again, I simply say on the microphone to the plane, guys, sorry, a situation has arisen in Jackson.
Yeah.
So blame it on Jackson.
Right.
Blame it on something. Don't tell them you don't know how to land the damn plane.
How are we doing in Salt Lake City? You got a long, straight runway there, or are you going to get us down there? What do I have, the junior pilot? Does he have the plastic wings on that they hand out? I mean, I just feel like anyone that gets in a freaking commercial cockpit ought to know how to land anywhere.
Mom and Daddy are proud of me. I landed the plane like a big boy.
I mean, you know what it is? It's all this autopilot stuff. He got to Jackson, went, I got to take it off autopilot and get up on this yoke. And no, I'm out.
Say what? I got to land this plane? We got ourselves a situation here, people.
Oh, man.
Hey, Inver Grove Heights, what's happening this morning? Thank you for being with us on the KQ Morning Show. You know what? I'm not trying to act like I know everything. Whereabouts is Inver Grove Heights? Where am I looking at?
Well, if you want to visit our friends at KOD, it's the place to be.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah.
Right down the road. That would be the marquee stop down there in Inver Grove Heights. So
learning every day. I'm still making the rounds. I'm still getting out. By the way, I haven't mentioned this.
Straight south of St. Paul.
Sorry?
I just said straight south of St. Paul.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned this as much lately, but my wife and I are still like every weekend we're going to new spots and we're just really we're tattooing the metropolitan area into our psyche. We've not hit Inver Grove Heights yet, but it's just a matter of time.
They have a White Castle. I know that. White Castle and King of Diamonds. What else do you need?
Save that for your anniversary.
Well, then it will be sooner than later if that's the case.
White Castle after King of Diamonds,
yeah,
I think. Probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have been up a little north to Brainerd, and I'll be going back near Brainerd October 3rd through the 6th because it's KQ Up North time again, ladies and gentlemen. Going up north with Hoffman Weber Construction. We will be at Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake, October 3rd to the 6th. Join us. Why don't you? There's going to be a broadcast of the KQ Morning Show. We're going to have a karaoke party, a dinner cruise, live music, and way more than just that with the KQ crew. Book your stay right now at 92kqrs.com. Sponsored by Hoffman Weber Construction and Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. Nicolas Cage has played a whole bunch of characters that are unforgettable. I can't believe what I'm about to tell you about his next film. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Friday, August the 16th. I love Fridays, man. I mean, come on. What's wrong with a Friday? You get up, you get to work, you get off, you go have a pop or two, you go see Metallica at the US Bank Stadium, or you wait and see him Sunday, or then you wait and then tomorrow you go see another ginormous rock concert at a stadium. What is it? Green Day tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You got Def Leppard Monday night. I mean, what a ridiculous rock 4 days we have in this city right now.
Metallica, Pumpkins, Green Day, Steve Miller. Pantera, Def Leppard, Journey. Yeah, it's quite a weekend. Quite a few days.
I tell you right now, Metallica took over the world when the Black Album came out, 1991. Yep. In 1991, if somebody had said to you, "Hey, man, in 2024," which back in the 90s sounded like Buck Rogers era universe, that was so far away. Hey, man, in 2024. Metallica and Pantera and Smashing Pumpkins and Green Day and Journey and Def Leppard will all be playing stadiums in Minneapolis. You would have looked at them like they had 7 heads.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
I would have thought to myself,
2024?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I would have been thinking, man, I hope.
I'm not complaining.
I won't be alive.
No, exactly. Yeah, I'm not complaining, by the way, either. I'm thrilled. I'm so happy that all of this is happening. Almost as happy as the fact that Nic Cage has another gig coming up. Nicolas Cage has made a ton of movies in his career, some of which we've seen. That guy's been doing the straight to video on demand circuit for years now.
I'm pretty sure if we got our hands on his phone number, we could call and pitch him today for a movie he would accept.
I get the feeling, and every now and again he still makes a movie with directors and writers you've heard of, and then he's in theaters again. But then in the meantime, so many things that fly under the radar almost by design. But he's paying the bills, or the IRS, or whatever the situation is. Nicolas Cage has picked up a new part. It's a movie being directed and produced by David O. Russell, who's got a lot of big movies to his credit. That's the Silver Linings Playbook guy, right?
Okay. Yeah,
okay, isn't it?
I know the name.
Three Kings, and he's got a bunch. I think he's got a bunch of these movies. David O. Russell.
Yeah, I love Three Kings too.
The new movie for Nic Cage, he will be playing not a fictional character, Nicolas Stinking Cage as NFL legend John Madden.
Huh?
John Madden as being played by Nicolas Cage. I love it.
I mean, I do initially. I'm trying to figure that out in my head. The dude's got some range. He's crazy. Madden, all right. I mean, a lot of prosthetics. They're going to really have to go to work on him. That's
they're
6 hours in a chair every day.
Completely insane.
Play it straight up, or they're going to make him like an action hero. Because that would be funny.
Yeah, maybe Madden. It's Frank Kelly or not? Because I'm thinking of Frank Caliendo.
Here comes the Soviet. Here comes the Soviets. Boom! Punch him in the mouth.
Right.
Nicolas Cage as
rides a
one of
train.
the Avengers.
Yeah, right. I mean, Frank Caliendo out there somewhere, the comedian, is probably
furious.
Yeah.
How did he get passed? How did he get passed for this role? He's already done it so many times.
Exactly. He's a chubby dude. Right. They just got to get the hair right and everything like that. Remember?
That you already know. He'll say things like, you need to see. Because seeing is important, and if you can't see, then you don't know what you're looking at.
All right, so
right on.
I mean, yeah, he's so dead on. I mean, you couldn't tell the difference between the two. You'd probably pick Caliendo over Madden if you heard them side by side. But Nicolas Cage,
the movie is called Madden. It will focus on his rise to legendary status after his coaching career had wrapped up in the NFL. Sports commentator to the name behind the biggest sports video game of all time. The original name attached was Will Ferrell. Or Will Ferrell. Is it Ferrell or Ferrell?
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait. Will Ferrell was supposed to be Madden, which I just immediately picture him doing, oh my God, Harry Carey instead of John Madden. If the moon's made of cheese, would you take a bite? I mean, I'm thinking of that. But no, he could have done, I guess he could have done Madden. I mean, Will Ferrell's a better actor than you think. I mean, sometimes he surprises you, but the Nicolas Cage is such. I will say this: I mean, Nicolas Cage is like a, he commits. And I imagine he is doing some full Madden research right now.
Yeah, but it's crazy. So this will be more of a biopic, because I was kind of thinking it might be some, like Tony was suggesting, some out there number, like John Madden in a save the world scenario.
I'll try a turducken.
I mean, I'll check. I can't wait to see the trailer, but they haven't even come close to shooting yet.
I don't think so. Not if they just picked that up. That is amazing. Yeah, David O. Russell, Flirting with Disaster. That's the first movie I saw of his. Yeah. Three Kings, great movie.
Great movie.
Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. He didn't direct it. He was the executive producer. The Fighter. He directed that.
The Fighter was great.
The Fighter. Is that the Christian Bale skinny crack addict Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, Christian Bale super skinny. Marky Mark is
that movie's awesome.
Yeah, a very good movie.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Great movie.
Also good. American Hustle. Never saw it.
Oh, very good movie.
Okay, yeah. So that's who's doing it. So yeah, he's made some good films. The guy kind of knows his business. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it now. I will go see Nicolas Cage as John Madden. I will go to see that in a theater.
What was that?
Call me
Nic
crazy.
Cage movie. I watch most Nic Cage movies, but what was that one he did? The arcade. He never spoke in the movie. They couldn't afford to pay him to speak, so they decided to shoot the entire movie. He doesn't speak the entire movie. It is not even
Never even heard of it.
Oh, it's he goes into an arcade, and it's a haunted arcade where the characters come to life. It's a horror movie, and it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm going to go ahead and Google it right now.
That is insane. Right. I've never even heard of such a thing.
Willy's Wonderland?
Thank you, Willy's Wonderland.
Thanks, Google.
Easily one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I couldn't stop watching it. He never says a word. He's the hero, by the way. He's in almost every scene. Not a word. Not a peep.
Just facial expressions.
That's it. Just go. He has to clean the arcade to get his car fixed or something. It's one of these old Chuck E. Cheese kind of setups, but it's abandoned and haunted because some kids were killed, or I don't know what the plot was. But I
tell you what, man. I'll be honest. I almost killed a kid at a Chuck E. Cheese once, and it was not almost an accident. I almost killed a kid at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, you're gonna run that story down for
just a couple of birthday parties along the way, and the kids are little, and and then all of a sudden you're playing the game. I'm like, okay, at least there's video games and these other things, and that's kind of fun because the pizza tastes like cardboard, and the animatronic band is making me a little nervous.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. A whole thing where a kid just walked up and he was like, he thought it was funny to stomp on people's feet.
Oh,
that is funny.
And it didn't actually even hurt that much, but I was just so mad at his parents that I just wanted to take. I was gonna throw him hard into that ball pit and see if he could ever find his way out.
Especially the parents that laugh along. The parents that are just checked out. I get it. You gave up. All right. I understand how that might happen, but the parents that are laughing along, like, isn't that cute? Isn't he adorable? Just stomping on your feet like that. Yeah, you want to.
Well, by the way, I did not realize that I was not exhibiting a poker face. The thing that's memorable about this is I'm staring at this kid apparently, and Rosemary goes, babe, what are you doing? I'm like, what? She goes, what are you about to, you look like you're going to kill that kid. Literally. And I'm like, I was thinking about throwing him in the ball pit. She's like, oh my God. She goes, if anyone saw you staring at that kid like that, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm about to snap here.
Last I checked, this is a free country. You can look at a child with a murderous look in your eye if you'd like.
Talk to me right off that ledge, baby. Speaking of Madden, football season is right around the corner. Check this out. A Minnesota Vikings fan logged into her season ticket account, and her tickets were gone. Someone hacked into her account and took all of her Vikings tickets for the whole season, all 10 games.
I didn't even think I could do it. I just did it as a lark to see if it's an app I downloaded. I don't know how. Have you ever heard of this happening?
Are we sitting on the aisle?
Of course, 50, man. We're 20 rows up right on the aisle. I didn't know this was possible.
I thought this was supposed to be the benefit of digital tickets is they couldn't get stolen or lost or any of that crap.
No, you're so naive.
How could anyone steal anything that's in your phone or on the internet? No, if you have them in your hand, if they're paper tickets, now they've got to physically take them from you. Because you used to get that. I had a friend that, they had the Viking season tickets forever, the family did, and they would come in a big manila envelope, and he would pull them all out, and there would be these huge tickets with sparkly colors and codes on them, and there it is. There's the Buccaneers, the Vikings versus the Steelers. Oh, we would just stare at them like playing cards.
Of course.
Very exciting.
No, it's like Wonka golden tickets, man.
That's exactly what it was like.
The Vikings did say this is the only incident of its kind that they are aware of, and they're saying it's not related to this summer's massive Ticketmaster hack. Rather, they think it's isolated. The fraudulent account was suspended to the account to where the tickets were transferred. Yeah. They did suspend that account, but the account was created with a fake name and email address, so they don't know who the thief was. We saw something earlier where a Vikings person said, well, we replaced her seats with comparable seats. I think what they're saying is they replaced the tickets with this. I think think she's going to have her seats.
Seats, okay.
They definitely took care of that, because at first, the way the first story read, it was like, they said, the words were, she's been given comparable replacements. And we're like, comparable? How about just give her own seats back? I guess that is what happened.
What is the end game here? So you're not going to use the tickets yourself if you hack and steal them, because you know, it's like walking yourself into the cop shop. They're going to be on the lookout for you.
It almost feels like somebody did it just to wind her up. Like they knew they couldn't get away with actually using the tickets or selling them again. Maybe it's, maybe we thought maybe it's an inside job. Maybe it's an inside job from, maybe the hack is coming from inside the house. Maybe she needs to wonder who did this to me. Which one of my grandchildren did this to me? Fantasy football is around the corner. If football's coming, so is fantasy football. On the KQ Facebook page, happy draft party season. What's the best fantasy football team name you've come across? Oh, there's some good ones. There are some really good ones. I like this one. Please touch down there. My favorite, Joe Buck Yourself.
Yeah.
That is great, Matthew. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Man, I would think about stealing that one, actually. I mean, I'll footnote you mentally, Matthew, but Joe Buck Yourself is pretty strong right there. What else have we got? Well, there's so many I can't say on the air. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, right.
God, no, I almost said it out loud. Wow. My nut, Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. That's good.
Boy, you really got to go slowly with some of these so you don't run afoul of the FCC. Go figure. Hey, that's what fantasy football's for.
Yeah, it's a fantasy.
Man, it sure is. I don't play fantasy football. I never have. I've never been in a league with a team. I've never done. My son has done it for years, and I kind of do it through him. But I always felt like I missed the boat. It was like, it's too far down the road for me. So I've just still never jumped in. I have no problem about throwing a friendly wager at football, here and there. But as far as fantasy, never done it. Have you?
I have. I've done quite a bit of fantasy football in the past, and then it got too heated. People got too serious about it. Sometimes I wouldn't set my lineup, or I would leave my lineup from the week before, and one of my players was on a bye. I didn't take it maybe as seriously as I should, and feelings would get hurt, and texts would be exchanged.
You left in a player who was on a bye?
See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm not the actual coach of the team, the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, so it turns out I'm just over here. I like TDs, and so anyway, then it just, and so I'm like, F it, and I jumped out. But I went out on a high note because I was in 3 fantasy football leagues one season. One of them was just a family league, but I won all 3 championships.
Oh, nice.
I said, that's it, I'm out. I got my 3 Super Bowl rings, I'm taking off.
Damn.
And just haven't jumped back in, and part of the reason I think is because I've leapt over to this online gambling now. Yeah, instead of just losing it in one lump sum, I lose it in lump sums every week.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Hey, I made almost $800 last year, cashed out after the football season, because I won't bet on another sport. Yeah. It's not another sport I pay enough attention to, and I don't want to get down that rabbit hole.
Yep.
So I just stick with the NFL. But yeah, I cashed out with a little over, I think, 810 last year.
Very nice.
Yeah, not bad.
Very nice. Alice Cooper's coming to town soon. If you are interested in seeing Alice Cooper, I would suggest that you stay tuned. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
We're going to give away some Alice Cooper tickets here in a moment. But first, I would love to say what's happening up in Lindstrom. Good morning, Lindstrom, Minnesota.
A little Sweden up there.
It is. Was there 2 weeks ago. Rosemary and Marley and I, on our way up to do some kayaking, stopped in, saw now correct me if I'm wrong, that's the Tea Kettle Water Tower town, as I called it.
Yes,
hey, look at that Tea Kettle. That's cool.
Yeah.
What a gorgeous little town that is.
It's quaint up there.
Yeah, it looked like a movie set. I was like, man, this place is nothing but. There was an ice cream shop we went into right there in town. It was good. I want to say it was Anderson's, or it was Anderton's, or it was
an Anderson in Lindstrom. I can't believe that.
I was going to say probably Anderson's.
Yeah, it was. We had a nice time. So anyway, what's happening there, Lindstrom? Maybe some of the folks from Lindstrom are coming down to see a concert this weekend in town. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. Alice Cooper will be at the XL Energy Center with Rob Zombie August the 25th. Isn't there someone else on the bill that night as well? Or am I just making
Ministry?
that up? Ministry.
Yeah.
Filter's going to be playing too.
Oh, Filter's on.
Yep.
Good gracious.
Damn.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be a loud night.
Yeah, it is.
Ask a question, get an answer. Right now, we want to give away some tickets to that very concert. But, of course, if you do want to win, you're going to have to play a game. Tony, what are we doing today?
Yeah, we're going to test your powers of persuasion, your sales skills. We're going to give you something, a concept, an idea, a thing, anything at all. And you have to sell us on it, the benefits, why it's a good thing. It's kind of like Shark Tank. And we're going to give you 30 seconds, and we'll vote on your pitches. So good luck to you. You get 2 pitches each.
I like it. Always be closing. Well, let's get to it. Who is contestant number 1?
Our buddy Russell from Egan goes up first.
Russell, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you an Alice Cooper fan?
I am very much.
Well, then you are in the right place, brother. 2 tickets to see the man on August the 25th. Good luck. Are you ready to pitch us on a concept?
So any concept.
Well, Tony's going to tell you what the concept
Don't
is.
you wish?
Oh, no. Tony's going to tell you what to sell us on, brother.
I'll tell you your concept, Mitch.
Hey, Russell, let me ask you something. First things first, though. Favorite band of all time, who is it?
Leonard Skinner. Easy.
Easy. I like that. Favorite team, any sport?
Minnesota Wild.
All right,
Attaboy.
Skinnerd and Wild. That
Solid.
checks out nicely. All right, Russell. Tony will give you your pitch. Good luck, sir.
Yeah.
Russell, my boy, in your pitch, in your 30 seconds, convince us that the only thing to do now that the Vikings rookie quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, is out for the season is to completely shut down and not even show up for a single game. Go to it.
Wow.
All right.
Russell, you there?
Yes.
Hey, you got
Am I
30
re-
seconds, Russell.
Let's
start you again.
We're going to start the timer over. Did you hear the assignment?
Okay.
All right, and begin.
The Vikings are toast. Unfortunately, the Vikings have hit their major problem as they had for many, many years, and that's our lack of having a quarterback. We could go back and back many times. Our quarterback is always our problem. So on Sundays, go ahead, use your fantasy, but I don't know what you'll do with the Vikings teams, and just go out and have a good time.
Yeah. All right.
I'm so
That
done.
is that.
You know what? You started strong by saying the Vikings are toast. Toast gets you a lot of friends around these parts. We love our toast on the KQ Morning
We
Show.
certainly do. Somewhere out there at Vikings training camp, Sam Darnold's getting his ankles taped and just weeping.
Yeah, he
Come
certainly
on, man.
is.
I got this, you guys.
No, really. I'm going to show you something special. All right, Russell, very well done, sir. We're going to put you on hold for a moment, and we'll go to contestant number 2. Tony, who have we got?
Step up Scott from Bloomington.
Scott, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
We're great, brother. You an Alice Cooper and or Rob Zombie fan?
I would be probably both, but more of an Alice Cooper fan.
All right, favorite band of all time, who is it?
Probably Kiss.
Kiss works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Sure.
favorite team, any sport?
Vikings.
There you go. Yeah, it's always that.
Yeah, with like have a down inflection,
Yep.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Not Vikings. Not
Nah,
Vikings.
we understand.
Yeah,
we understand it well, Scott. All right, well, it's sales pitch. Do you understand what we're doing here?
I don't.
Tony?
Wow. We're going to give you 30 seconds. We're going to give you just a random concept, and you sell us on that concept, the benefits, the whys, the hows, and we're going to choose it for you. You can do it in 30 seconds. We'll applaud you.
Nice. Okay.
Good luck, brother.
You okay with that, Scott? All right, fine. Scott, here you go. Take your 30 seconds to sell us on an exciting new fashion trend. It's where you wear your underwear, bras, panties, boxer briefs, whatever you choose to wear, on the outside of your clothes. Go. You got 30 seconds.
All right. You may have seen on Instagram, you may have seen on TikTok that the newest trend is to wear your underwear on the outside of your clothing. Now, don't be the last person to be part of this trend. Be the first person in your block to be wearing your fancy underpantsies outside of your clothing.
Yeah, strong.
That's all I got.
No, that's good. No, that's the old sales pitch. Don't be the last one. I mean, instill that fear, and you're going to get a sale. All right, I like that. I didn't see that coming.
I might just come back from the bathroom at the break with my undies on the outside, but it is Commando Friday, maybe Monday.
I was going to say, if I go underwear on the outside, I'm flying free. Sorry, guys.
Make some nice underwear.
God, you're so
Shame to
uptight.
hide them, yeah.
Isn't it that Tom Petty song, right? 'Cause I'm free. Free ball. All right, Scott. Well done, brother.
Nice job.
All right, we got two good round one efforts right there. We're going to get round two. We're going to tee them up. So let's go back to Russell, the Skinnerd Wild fan. Russell, it's time for round two. Are you ready, sir?
Sure.
All right, Russell, your second shot here. Convince us in your 30 seconds why the laws and the process should finally be changed and that the new minimum age that you can vote should be 5. Go ahead.
Well, the reason I think that it should be 5 is because I want to start voting. My mom and dad don't know how to vote. So as a 5-year-old, I know the issues. That's why I'm going to vote, and I'm going to get all my neighborhood friends to vote. That's why we need the young vote.
I love the channeling the 5-year-old. That is great.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like Froggy from
right.
from Little Rascals. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you're a 5-year-old with a frog in their throat.
Man, I like the energy on that one. Very well done, Russell. Nice job, brother. All right, sit tight. We're going to go back to Scott for his round two. Scott, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do it, brother. Good luck to you.
All right, Scott, your last shot here. In your 30 seconds, sell us on why we should invest in your new venture. It's a company that makes hot tubs that are only to be filled with coconut water. 30 seconds, go.
Are you tired of sitting outside in your hot tub using only traditional water? Try ours with coconut water. It exfoliates your skin, and it makes a man more virile, and it makes a woman more excitable. So fill it up with coconut water instead of regular tap water.
Wow. Very strong.
Honestly,
honestly,
I want to do this.
I did enjoy the term traditional water when he came out of the gate running.
I like the idea of an excitable woman.
Yeah, it exfoliates.
Normally no, never mind.
It exfoliates your skin, makes the men more virile and the women more excitable. Good Lord.
Got to be better than drinking that crap.
Man alive. That got a hearty laugh out of Ryder, I can tell you that. Very well done, Scott. All right, gentlemen, it's time to vote. We got to put this to a vote.
Ooh, boy.
Tony, going to start with you, Quizmaster General. Russell and Scott, solid efforts both. What do you think?
I loved Russell's odd twist in adopting the character voice and channeling his inner child, but Scott drew on my journalism school experience using the unique selling proposition, and I just bought his pitch.
Got it. Strong. Well done. Ryder, what do you think?
I mean, Scott. Fancy underpantsy and excitable women?
Yeah.
How can you go wrong with those two?
Well, let me tell you how you can.
Read my
time.
book,
yeah.
says Brian Zapp. All right, what do you think, Zapp?
I'll tell you what, as a guy that, has cut a commercial or two, a voiceover, I like Scott's approach because he kind of gave it that commercial pitch. But, I mean, Russell and I are going to have a beer sooner than later. It's going to happen. Yeah, we're just going to sit there and growl at each other. I'm going with Russ on this one.
I like that. All right, I could either bring this to a deadlock or we can call it a boat race for Scott. And as much as I hate to do it, it's going to be the boat race for Scott. Really well played. I love traditional water, and I loved more virile men. After the exfoliation, nothing but virility all around. Great effort on both your parts. Russell, thank you for playing, brother. I'm sorry to say you came up just a little short. Scott, you have won Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, Ministry, filter tickets. Good Lord. Have a great time next Sunday at the XL Energy Center. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You got it. I am a fan. I like coconut water. I have no problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it, actually. But sometimes I think, with the waters, they're trying too hard because I drink something called water.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Traditional water.
Yeah, just a traditional water. I soak in it. I drink it. I sometimes drink the water I soak in.
Yeah, wow.
Talk about coconut water. No, I don't necessarily have a problem. I just don't get around to it very often.
I hear you. All right. I first came around to coconut water after doing a little something they called hot yoga, and I would have literally slurped down like mustard. I was so thirsty when I walked out of that studio the first time.
That's what happens. Yoga, then you're drinking coconut water.
Yep.
Pretty soon, it's kale salad for lunch?
Oh, I had the man bun going. What are you kidding?
You're going to start going to bead stores.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I miss.
A little aromatherapy, perhaps.
I miss the yoga, but I really miss the yoga lifestyle. That's really more what it is. I had the sweatshirt that it's like the font for Yale, but it says kale. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, man, those were good days, man. What, were we ever so young as the early aughts?
The early aughts.
Jeez. Hey, you know what you can do if you feel it? Today, Friday, why don't you meet up with our buddy Woody and our friends from Leinenkugel's from 4 to 6 this afternoon at Cub Wine and Spirits in Champlin. Win Leinie's merch, of course, the Leinie's paddles and other gear, plus sample. Plus, there'll be samples of that great Leinenkugel's beer. Woody, Leinenkugel's, Cub Wine and Spirits in Champlin. That is a fine way to spend a few hours this afternoon. Gene Simmons, you might think he's got the world's biggest tongue. You would be sorely mistaken. Let's talk about record-setting tongues. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Friday, August the 16th. Man, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like going down to Florida. Maybe renting a boat, getting out in the Gulf, cruising around a little bit. Because that's what people do. You go to Florida, you rent a boat, you get out, you come across a couple bundles of cocaine, and then I'm just listening to Eric Clapton singing that song, and I'm like, hey, man, let's go to Florida and find some cocaine, because everybody else is. Yet again, more in the Gulf of Mexico. After some recent storms, about $500,000 in microwaved-sized packages covered in barnacles were picked up off of Panther Key, right near the port of the islands. 56 pounds worth of cocaine. They believe it was blown in by the recent Hurricane Debbie. Some boaters just out there minding their own business, and there it was in the mangroves. 56 pounds of cocaine.
Imagine how many tons of cocaine have just been floated. This has barnacles on it. How old does something have to be to...
I don't know. I was just going to ask.
I don't know. I'm a landlubber. I'm a Midwest kid. I don't know.
There's someone out there who could take a quick snort and tell you exactly. It's like, you know what? It's like there's a cokehead out there who's kind of like a deadhead. Yeah. You put on 3 seconds, they go, oh, that's Hamburg 72. Yeah. I know that. I know Jerry's tone anywhere. Yeah. There's somebody who could just dip a fingernail into that bindle and be like, oh, this is like 2017? No, 2018.
Southern Columbia.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
At about an elevation of 10,000 feet, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice peppery taste to it. It's very approachable. Well, I would love to get some of that off the streets.
So $1 million was turned in. $1 million about a week ago. Now this is about $500,000. The Collier County Sheriff's Department just keeps saying, hey, thanks to all these good Samaritans, they keep bringing these packages in. Yeah. It's just a matter of time till somebody goes, hang on, before we call the police.
Yeah.
Is that guy you went to high school with, is he still, is he still running with that crowd?
Right. Because you don't want to, sure, there may be a little bit of fun to be had. I wouldn't advocate that. It's not a good trip, that cocaine. But what did George Carlin used to say? Cocaine, it's like, you smoke pot, it's like getting on the bus. And like, this is a fun trip. It's a party bus. It's the magic bus. But cocaine wants to drive the bus. Yeah.
That's exactly
Cocaine's in charge of the high. But you have to be thinking to yourself, it's lucrative. If I know a guy, a guy that knows a guy takes this out, I'm not going to be sitting out there in the corner peddling it myself. But if someone wants to just, give me, a pittance of street value of this stuff, and then I'll just kill some people that way. I can live with it.
reminds me of Robin Williams saying, if alcohol's a crutch, Jack Daniels is the wheelchair.
That's true. I tell you, I've done some deep sea fishing both on the Gulf and the Atlantic coast down there over the years, and I would crack jokes. You ever run across a bale of cocaine out here? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Every one of them has. Every charter has. Oh, yeah, you see them. Sometimes, if we have a charter, we don't want to bother. We just mark it, and you can let the Coast Guard know. There's probably an app for that now, you know. They saw a bale floating out here, but, yeah, it's not uncommon. And we know that they've, whether they get busted and have to dump a big load of cocaine, a lot of times they'll just try and float them in. They'll just run up and down the coast in the middle of the night and just start throwing coke in the water. And whatever makes it to shore and you guys can gather up and sell, great. And the rest of it ends up with barnacles.
Cost of business. I've gone deep sea fishing in the Gulf twice. One time I left shore sober and came back just blitzkrieged. And the other one, I left the shore blitzkrieged and then came back sober. The first one was way more fun.
Yeah.
Did you catch anything?
Sure. Yeah, all kinds of weird stuff you catch out there, but the second time around, I was an early leave, and I was just like, I'll just play through, just do an all-nighter, get on the boat drunk. What could go wrong? Boy, a whole lot went wrong. The only time I've ever been seasick in my life. Ooh, man, that was a day from hell. But the first time, it was all good.
A little cocaine would have cleared that right
I was going to say, neither time was a bale of cocaine brought in off the water, but that second time, it would have helped. I'm just saying that.
Got you to shore?
Was never my thing. Never really cared for it. But if there was a moment I probably could have used it, it would have been that day.
Yeah. No, there wasn't a time where I thought, cool, fun. I mean, there was always regret. It's like Jägermeister, I think. You never feel good about it.
Just a one-time Jaeger guy. I've had Jägermeister once in my life, but that one time it was a lot of it.
Yeah.
Never been back to the well.
Cured you.
Yeah, that truly did. It was the longest hangover of my life.
Yeah.
Woke up the next day, hungover all day. Woke up the day after that, hungover that whole day too. Yeah. Seriously, true story.
You're smart, the worst. I think we all have that reaction to it, but some of us are so stupid we do it again and again and again. But I think I found the cure to Jägermeister. I don't know what it was.
I was hangover? 21, maybe 22, and all I can tell you about my Jägermeister hangover was that on day 2, I can see very clearly as if I were observing myself. It's like when people say they have a near-death experience and they leave the hospital room and they hover over their own body and then they come back in. I was sitting in front of a black and white tiny television watching a grainy Young and the Restless eating saltines. That's all I could do. Just like, I've never been so hungover in my life. And I'm just watching Victor Newman wreak havoc over Genoa City while I'm eating saltine crackers, nice. Saying, I will never drink again.
Yeah, that's I don't even believe I'm going to say this because I'm ashamed of this, to be completely honest with you. But the last time I got super trashed on Jägermeister, the last time I drank Jägermeister, I was vomiting like a black tar.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was like a black tar. And I told my buddy, I said, I drank so much Jägermeister last night, my vomit is black. He said, dude, that's alcohol poisoning. Yeah. And I Googled it, and I went, well, now we're all done with Jägermeister. Thank God they concocted Fireball.
Oh, what are you going to do? 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. I believe we have a caller, Tony. Who we got?
We do. Our friend Mark has a sordid drug tale.
Oh, no. Mark, good morning, sir. First things first, favorite band. Who is it?
Favorite band? Man, that's really hard, but I'm kind of a big Dire Straits fan.
That works every time. All right, favorite team, any sport?
The Dodgers.
Oh, Dire Straits and the Dodgers. Okay, nothing like
Dodgers.
Nothing like a Dodger
Dodgers
dog.
And the Packers.
And the Packers.
You don't get two.
You were doing great. Dire Straits and the Dodgers. You were 2 for 2, brother. But like Meatloaf says, 2 out of 3.
I'm getting thrown under the bus here.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. All right, what have you got for us, my man?
What's going on out here?
What do you got for us?
I had some friends of mine that went down to Florida on a spring break vacation, and two of them are fairly fit, and they'd go out on morning runs at just before sunup. And one of them found something. He went and investigated it. It was a bale of pot. They managed to procure it from the beach, and then were absolutely panic-stricken the whole drive back to Wisconsin.
Whoa!
I saw them after they arrived, and I go, "What's the matter?" And they opened up the back of their van, and I go, "So what? It looks like trash." And he goes, "Well, look closely." And they peeled it back, and there was roughly 40 pounds.
Yahtzee!
Hey!
So they, enjoyed for, 6-7 months and shared and sold and whatever else. And those guys were relieved to be rid of that burden. So
it's too much, You find a pound, an ounce, or something like that. My lucky day, but 40 pounds, that's got her back to Wisconsin, though.
They destroyed the evidence.
But
just
the look on their face was just absolutely priceless. They went from almost complete panic-stricken to, within about 4 or 5 months, just kind of like, I am so much more relaxed now.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. So
I love the happy ending there. They got away with it sounds like.
No kidding. That's great. Thank you for the call, brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, happy weekend, guys. Bye.
Yeah,
You got it.
Thank you.
There might have been a time in my life when I would give it a real thought, but if I came across something like that right now, I would either just keep on walking, or I would literally just, I'd be so worried someone took a picture of me next to it, I would have to call the police and go, I found this, come get it. Yeah. Because, there's cameras everywhere. Like, someone else would report it missing, and then somebody goes, I saw Steve standing next to that pile. Damn it. So check this out. There was a woman named Emily Schlenker. Emily Schlenker, former Guinness World Record holder for the widest tongue on record.
Wow.
Her tongue is 2.89 inches wide. And I say former because a woman in Texas named Brittany Lacayo was like, 2.89 inches. I think mine's even more so.
Hold my beer.
And it turns out it's true. She is now your new world record holder, a 3.11 inch wide tongue.
Wow. 3 inches wide. That's okay. Yeah, that's wide.
Her tongue is the same width as the average length of an adult woman's tongue.
What is her name?
Am I the only one that's aroused right now? Well, you would not want to get into an ice cream cone eating contest with her. She'd bury you, wouldn't you?
No. She says it's neat and kind of funny. That was her quote.
I like Brett right here.
From a young age, my family would kind of make a joke about it. So I guess I've known from when I was pretty young that my tongue was larger than most people's. My best friend Sarah sent me a link to the previous record holders video, and so I guess that inspired me to see if my tongue was actually wider than hers.
Really, there's going to be some tongue measuring going on out there in the on the job site today.
Let me tell you something.
Got a big fat tongue.
You're misinterpreting, or it's hard to, when you say 3.1 inches. In my mind, I think I know exactly what that is, and then you see a picture of a tongue that wide. You go, oh no, I undersold that completely.
Yeah, I know it. I'm like 3 inches. That's not much, but then you see the photograph, and it's alarming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's got to be something beyond ice cream that this is good for. I'm not trying to be funny and titillating and think about what she could do to your. No, I'm just saying there's something. I'm trying to think of what it is for this. The length of it, like Gene Simmons always said, he has one of the longest tongues.
Yeah.
This is a whole different thing. This is just like straight up. It's like one of those. What do they call those fungo bats? Those real thick baseball bats. Yeah, it's something weird about the size of this tongue.
Yeah, it's like a paddle.
Tungo.
Yeah, it's a lot of tongue in your mouth right there. But I almost expected her like Tony was doing there when I played the audio earlier this morning for like this, But
I have, as far as I can tell, an average sized tongue, and I bite it probably once a year. I'm chewing food, and you bite your tongue.
Worst. Yeah.
How are you not biting your tongue every day if it's 3.1 inches wide?
I don't know. Be careful.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting. You know what? We were talking a minute ago about all people finding all sorts of cocaine in the water, but you don't have to go to Florida apparently, because let's go to Fergus Falls, Minnesota. There's a suspected Maybe it's over the counter, but there's some additives at play in this story. Fergus Falls, Minnesota. The police responded to a parking lot. A call was just saw a man get hit by a car, and police went there, and sure enough, a gentleman had been hit by a car in the parking lot. The car was being driven at the time by his girlfriend. They were on their way to a therapy session to work on the relationship. Story is this. The couple had been arguing all day. The victim felt like the relationship wasn't going to work out. They were on their way to a therapy session. He said, you know what? I don't want to go to therapy. I'm just going to tap out. Do you mind taking me home instead? His girlfriend, Veronica Gast, she stopped the car in the traffic lane next to this parking lot. She said, no, just get out right here. And he said, okay, exited the vehicle, walked in front of the car to get to the sidewalk to walk home. And according to the victim, while walking in front of the car, the woman behind the wheel, his girlfriend, locked eyes with him, quote, like you would with a bus driver. And then she floored it to run him over.
Wow. I thought you were going to say like you might with a grizzly bear right before it charges you.
Jeez.
She ran him down.
He turned his body away from the car, went over the hood, struck the front windshield with his back, shattering the windshield.
Yeah. Damn.
You can't shatter a windshield if you hit it at 4 miles per hour.
No, he launched into it.
She had some speed. The woman, the driver, told the officers the two had been arguing. She pulled over, and then she said she just drove away. He walked in front of me as I drove. She tried to say, look, I wasn't paying attention. It was an accident. And then he's like, no, she was glaring at me and floored it. She denied making eye contact before it happened.
She said, really, maybe take separate cars to couples therapy.
Wow.
Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, there is that. Hey, it's time we need to go get into a room with a therapist. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Show up. Come in separate doors, sit down, leave through separate doors.
Here's the thing, dude. You're never going to find another woman that loves you that much. That's passion right there. The woman that wants to kill you is the woman that loves you.
That's one thing you could say about it. That's for sure. Yeah. Trying to think of the biggest moment, if there was ever anything even approaching this in a relationship I've been involved in. And the answer is no. I can't recall.
Never feared for your life?
Never feared for my life. I had a moment with a girl who broke into my house. It was everything worked out okay, but there was some tense moments and it was a little weird, and then I got news that she had broken in and took a few of my items, things that she knew I cared about. They were returned, but I never had a face-to-face. We talked on the phone, and then through an intermediary, a hostage swap. Well, really, it was just I wanted my stuff back, but we never had it out like face-to-face. Yeah. Like that was the end of it. But that's it. I mean, I've been drama-free, thankfully, for the most part. I cannot imagine telling that story years later. Well, I was dating this one girl. What happened? She ran me over in a car. Yeah, that was tough. I mean, she broke into my house. That's good. That works.
Yeah.
Running me over with a car, whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever feared for my life. Sometimes my safety, once or twice, perhaps, or the safety of of my goods, perhaps. But not for my life. Yeah, that's passion right there.
That's it.
Again, separate vehicles on the way to therapy, or maybe just wait till you get to therapy. You're safely out of traffic and away from the vehicle before you decide to break up with her on the way to therapy.
Yeah, that's really good too. Like you realize the relationship's over. Let the drive be over.
Yeah.
Like don't interrupt the drive to say I got to get out of here. I think that's it.
I was at a dinner party one night, and everyone's just sitting around having fun, and just a couple of glasses of this, and just peaking. Everyone's having fun. It hadn't gotten weird yet. And the one gal said, "Well, actually, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I'm going to tell how we actually met." And he said, "Yeah, we met in a car accident. She rear-ended me in a stoplight." Okay. And she said, "Right, yeah, that's how we met." And then we started dating. It was great. But here's the thing I never told you, Craig. I ran into you on purpose. I saw you sitting in traffic. I'm like, he's hot. So when we got up to the next light, I got behind you, and then I decided to rear end you to meet you, and his mouth was white. It just buzzed. The place went. It was like somebody unplugged the jukebox at the bar.
My Jaguar.
Yeah. And it just got weird and quiet, and I think I was probably the only one laughing, and then that sort of petered out, and I was like, oh, dude. And they broke up. He's like,
I guarantee it.
Before dinner was over?
4 years in, and he's like, yeah, no, you. And she's like, what? It was, and yeah, she never quite understood.
No, he might earn her moxie. So you've heard stories of people do that in a grocery store. Yeah. They'll bang the carts, but that is a little extreme.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to be ignored.
Right.
Holy smokes. Yeah, you know what? I'm with him on that one. That's like, that's ill-gotten gains. That is, this is like a fraud. What did Renee Zellweger say when she married Kenny Chesney for 5 minutes and then divorced him? She the reason was there was fraud. Like I was given the wrong impression.
I was told he was heterosexual.
Yeah, this is the same thing. I didn't understand that you were stalking me. Stay strong, brother.
Yeah.
Top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's one of the weirdest parts of the Metallica catalog. They left that Kirk Hammett cough-in right near at the end of that song. And they were mixing it, and they're like, what, dude? And he's like, no, leave it. It's cool.
Stays in.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. They didn't put that in on the remix. If you have one of the originals, that's worth some money. Yeah.
No, it's amazing the different versions you get. But yeah, Hammett always real sensitive to air stuff, particles in the air and whatnot.
He seems like the type.
He's an old softy. You know how it is. Bless him. Bless us all. It's Friday, August the 16th. Good morning. First things first, Greg Coleman's going to be with us in about 20 minutes. He's a very funny gentleman. He's at Acme all weekend, and we look forward to catching up with Greg Coleman. Right now, I want to give a quick shout-out to Annandale. What's happening there, Annandale, Minnesota? Good morning.
They have one of my favorite lakes up there, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. Clearwater Lake?
That really nice one.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a beauty.
I say that, by the way, when people, every lake I hear about, I go, oh, the really nice one? Because they're all incredible.
I just
I'm
can't
like,
remember.
hey, everyone I go to, I'm like, this is awesome.
You said something either earlier this week, last week, about trying to remember the name of a lake up by Nisswa, and one of the listeners sent it in, but there's just too many damn lakes. You can't memorize them. And I think there's like 5 bass lakes just in the metro area. I know I'm probably wrong on that, but they're everywhere, those bass lakes.
Unbelievable. So beautiful. Anyway, good morning, Annandale. Glad to have you with us right now. As it is just a little after the hour, it's time for the top 5 at 9, the things you need to know to get your day off on the right foot. In case you have been under a rock for the last year and a half, almost 2 years, Metallica has arrived. The Minneapolis Metallica takeover. Metallica playing the U.S. Bank Stadium tonight and Sunday night, with a bunch of things happening in the city tomorrow during the day. Book events, Q&As, all kinds of stuff.
So you can't go over to that Metallica Plaza thing if you don't have tickets, can you?
I'm not
can you
sure
just
about the
wander
specifics.
Around? Yeah, I don't know that either, but that just seems like cool. I know there was like some pop-up Metallica merchandise stand that just popped up over there yesterday because I drove past it and there were already like 500 people out in line in front of it.
I got a buddy who waited in line to get his special like black and purple and gold splattered Metallica copy of their new album and stuff like that. Lots of really, really crazy things for Metallica fans at the pop-up stores.
Yeah.
I guess, when you're the biggest band in the world for over 3 decades, biggest metal or rock band anyway, and then you're 4 decades into your career and you're thinking, well, what are we going to do that's different? And then somebody goes, how about this? How about we go to 18 or 20 cities and then we just do 2 nights and we don't repeat songs, and then on the in-between day we have a bunch of events and we just kind of and at some point you're like, we're actually so big that makes sense. Like what a pipe dream place to be. But that makes perfect sense. If you've seen any footage from the gigs, they're playing in the round, like they're set up in the middle of these stadiums, and each guy walks out before the gig starts with house lights fully up, and they do their pre-gig, like the last few minutes of warm-up, the house lights are on and everybody can see him. Like Hetfield walks out, he's just off to the side of the stage. Everyone's cheering. He sits down, smokes his cigar, changes his T-shirt. Whatever he does, he's doing it in full view of the audience. It's pretty fascinating. You just get to a point where you're like, we got to do something different.
I mean, we could. I sat there and watched the Beatles have biscuits and tea one morning, or mimosas or whatever they were drinking. I watched it for a half hour, them just eating breakfast.
Yeah.
So when you get to be that big, I guess you just do whatever the hell you want. People are going to watch.
It's a big weekend for Metallica fans. Have fun, everybody. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9, David O. Russell, the man responsible for a lot of really good movies and a few that weren't so great, but they're always interesting. He always takes big swings, put it that way.
Yeah.
His new film is called Madden, as in John Madden. It's going to be a biopic focusing on John Madden's rise to legendary status after he retired as one of the great NFL coaches. He, of course, went to the broadcast booth and then starting the Madden football video game. That's when he really became a true icon. The part of John Madden will be played by Nicolas Cage.
Weird.
When you brought that up early this morning, I was dumbfounded. But as I've sat with it here through the morning, and then I saw a side-by-side of the two, but the more I think about it, I think perfect casting somehow. Because with prosthetics and the whole thing that they put on, that's not the right word, is it? Prosthetics. No, but, with all the
I think it is,
the goo
right?
and the plastic and everything. Like Colin Farrell is going to be playing the Penguin, Batman's old nemesis in some series coming up. You don't know it's Colin Farrell, the little Irish actor. Doesn't look anything like him. It's 8 hours in a chair a day. But
I think of Jiminy Glick.
Jiminy Glick.
Sure.
Yeah, right. These kinds of things. So they'll. I think this could be pretty interesting.
It's like you need to see. Because seeing is important, and if you can't see, then you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah. Frank Caliendo there. I think we all thought that he might get the part, but you got to go for a big A-lister, a heavy swinger.
Nic Cage is Madden. To me, it turned into that night I had a dream. Boom! I dreamt I was as light as the ether. Boom! A floating spirit visiting things to come. The shades and shadows of the people in my life. It just goes straight H.I. McDonough as John Madden. That's what I want to see.
I mean, and Nic Cage, he'll throw one in the dirt every once in a while, too. So maybe this will be a big swing and a miss, but we'll find out.
We shall see. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. Check this out. A group of kayakers and snorkelers off the Southern California coast earlier this month came across the very rarely seen oarfish. An oarfish is up to 30 feet long. It's a very odd-looking, skinny creature that is normally very much a deep-sea dweller. When people find oarfish, it's seen as an omen or a harbinger of earthquakes. That's why the oarfish is usually referred to as the doomsday fish. Wow. A doomsday fish. There are photos of it. It is about as ugly an animal as you'll ever see.
Yeah, not good. Those deep sea animals, they're just not attractive.
Yeah, numerous quakes have been recorded in California over the last few weeks. So maybe this guy was a little late as an omen goes, but maybe he gave his life so that we could know here comes the big one. I don't know what the hell any of this stuff means. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. A few movings on, passing aways, passing ons, people going to the next realm to share with you. They always say they come in threes. Yesterday we lost Greg Kinn, the Greg Kinn Band. The song's Jeopardy. What else have we got?
The breakup song.
Bunch of hits.
Wasn't there one with the name of a gal? Anyway, moving along.
Sure. Greg Kinn, who had been battling Alzheimer's for a few years. My man had a hobby over the last couple decades of his life where he was breeding rare praying mantis. When I hear about a guy like that who wrote a bunch of hit songs, then kind of fell off the radar, and then you hear he was breeding praying mantis, what it tells me is he's doing exactly what he wanted in life. Good for you, Greg Kinn. Jack Russell, the singer of Great White, passed away yesterday, 63 years old. Great White had a hot minute there, late 80s, early 90s, 7 top 10 rock radio songs. The Once Bitten, Twice Shy, that was the biggest one. Of course, the Warwick, Rhode Island nightclub, the Station Fire from 2003, one of the worst nights in rock music history. An awful, awful situation involved with, at that time, what was known as Jack Russell's Great White. Jack Russell, again, 63 years old, and an overlooked great singer. Not a great band, I don't think. I mean, they had some hits, but I mean, no one puts them as one of the all-timers. but he's a hell of a singer back in the day.
Oh, yeah, he could howl it out and always brought a pretty solid band with him. Great White. They had some changing parts over the years, but I saw him at Moondance, I know, once, a couple of music festivals, and they could crank it out.
Number one on your top 5 at 9, the Timberwolves have announced their regular season schedule for this upcoming season. Christmas Day game for only the third time. It will be, of course, on ABC. It will be at Dallas. They will be going down to play the Mavericks, the team that eliminated the Wolves, of course, in the Western Conference Finals, in Dallas on Christmas Day. The Celtics, your defending champions, are here Thursday, January the 2nd. The Warriors, of course, will be all the normal teams coming in, but we now know Steph Curry will be in town Saturday, December 21st, as well as Wednesday, January 15th. The Oklahoma City Thunder comes to town for the first time in Thursday, at least a televised version. That's a team to look out for. I'm excited for basketball. I know we just got a little taste of Olympic basketball, but the NBA season right around the corner. And as an old hoops jerk like me, I'm excited. I can't wait.
I'll get excited at the appropriate time. Vikings. I mean, it's hard once the Vikings start the season to just even think about another sport. Even the Wild seem like a million years from now till they get started.
No, I know. I totally feel you. And I'm excited about football, believe me. But by the time Christmas rolls around, I will be like, I'll be ready for a little basketball side dish.
Yeah, we'll have hockey going here, God, before too long, really. When a few months, October.
We're almost to the end of the July, August. What the hell am I supposed to watch tonight? Thank God for the Olympics this summer, because man, it's a dry spell this time of year.
Gonna have a big party for the Vikings-Browns game on Saturday.
Very nice, very nice. There's your top 5 at 9 for the day. I'm gonna throw a quick extra story on top right here, and this is one I just came across. I just want to give a shout out to Thompson, Georgia Mayor Benjamin Cranford. Benji, they call him. He was indicted Wednesday after being arrested by the GBI. That's the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. What was the mayor of Thompson, Georgia, arrested for? Well, he illegally left a bottle of gin in a roadside ditch for a state prison work crew.
I love this guy.
Man. June 3rd, he drove to a liquor store in Thompson, bought a bottle of Seagram's Extra Dry Gin. He left it in a ditch along Georgia 150 in the path of a work crew from the correctional institution. That's what's called keeping the peace.
And it jives with this running joke that I like, that small town mayors are just really the lush in town.
Yeah.
And they somehow get annoyed at the small town mayor. That's what we used to do in South Dakota. If you were the drunk in town, we would jokingly call you the mayor of the town. This guy might fit that bill pretty good. I like it.
Come on. Trust me, there's no reason to campaign for re-election. He's a shoo-in.
That's how you get some volunteers on the road crew out there. All right, who wants to go out and pick up some garbage in the ditch? I'm going. A little gin out there waiting for me.
You ever work a road crew? Sure did. It was the worst day of my life. Well, you should have been in Thompson, Georgia, because down there, the mayor keeps you drunk. Oh, Greg Coleman, very, very funny gentleman, is at Acme all weekend. And even better than that for us, he's here in studio with us in just a few minutes. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Friday, August the 16th. And this weekend at Acme Comedy Company, Greg Coleman. 2 gigs tonight, 7 to 9:30. 2 gigs tomorrow, 7 to 9:30. And more importantly, right now, Greg is in studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Walked right in, gave Chauncey some love. You're a dog man, obviously.
Oh, yeah, man. People know I'm all about the dogs, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's dogs and then there's babies.
Yeah, I got both.
Yeah, and you got some young ones.
Yeah, I got 2 at 2 under 2. It's going to be 3 in 1 in a month.
Whew.
Yeah.
Man, that's what do they call that? Stockpiling.
Yeah.
Something.
It was definitely a back-to-back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure if we necessarily planned it that way.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I caught a cramp, my wife clutched, and now I have a minivan.
Well, whatever you end up with, whatever the age gap, whatever the situation, that's what that's what makes sense. Yeah. So what might sound crazy to me, but to you, that's just life.
Yeah, it's just like we were talking about it because you got two years apart.
Yep.
And mine are literally 2 years and almost 2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
And it works. Like me and my sister are 4 years, 4 days. Mm-hmm. I'm like, let's keep it divided by 2.
That's good. 2 and 2. 2 and 2.
Yeah, it's good. Like today's the worst day that could happen for me because it's raining, so I can't get to the parks.
Oh yeah,
so
sure.
It's like I gotta stay involved all day. But,
yeah,
I just put the baby gates up, throw trolls on, and be like, I'm a good dad. I got it. You guys ain't?
Yeah. We did the smartest thing we ever did was right before our second child was born. We moved to LA for a few years.
Yeah, that's the best thing. That's where you want to raise kids.
Because it is for a toddler and a baby. Because then all you got to do, assuming you have a fenced in yard, the yard is part of your house.
Yeah.
The weather works all year.
Yeah.
We were only there 2.5 years. It rained twice.
It never rains in Southern California. I heard that
2 times, and so the kids are just outside all day. You open the door, the dog and the kid leave, and then you got the baby. Makes a whole different story. When we moved back east, and then it was like, oh wait, we got to go back indoors now.
Yeah.
Oh,
so here goes the thing though. Just put more clothes on them and throw them outside.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because if it's snowy, my daughter runs around. I'm like, she's a Minnesota kid, so she's like, I want to go outside. I'm like, fine.
And you were a Minnesota kid.
I was a Minnesota kid,
and like everybody reminds me regularly, it used to be the winters used to be way worse than what I've experienced.
Oh yeah, it was like these winters right here. Like I'm telling you, you haven't experienced winter, and I do the old Minnesota dude thing, like the Halloween of '91.
Oh yeah,
right?
I know all about
trauma about that. Everybody's got trauma on that.
I talk about it. I was nowhere near here, but I talk about Halloween '91 all the time in Minnesota.
You should. That's that's your past.
Damn straight it is.
Yeah, because no one can tell if you're there or not. Snow was up to our eyeballs.
That's right.
Like, I was there. I saw you.
You know it. So were you ever into any of the winter sports? Did you ever lace up the skates?
I played basketball. That's technically
a winter sport. Yeah, sure it is.
Actually,
Indoors.
I did do. Here goes maybe like in my 20, like I'd say 25 to 32. I was living over in Kenwood, and I was like, you know what? Let me get some skates. You know what I mean? And I did some pond hockey in the winter just to kind of like stay
moving.
Yeah, stay moving, and like I could be good enough not to ruin the game.
Yeah,
but like also surprisingly, like what's this brother doing here? Like I would just get the all right, he's out here.
Yeah,
and I was like, that was me doing my part. Racial relations.
Sure, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Greg, though, pond hockey in Minnesota, that's a serious thing. It's not like I'm from South Dakota, and we grew up playing a little bit of hockey. I get over here, they're like, you want to be in a pond hockey league? I'm like, oh, I know you take hockey seriously, but I bet I can do pond hockey. You're out there with, these kids are insane. They're just, we didn't quite make the pros.
Yeah.
So they're playing pond hockey.
Yeah, it's like I have that on my resume. I'm a minor league hockey player.
Yeah, right.
Because I played
a season of pond hockey.
Yeah.
I didn't play. I played basketball and played pickup basketball like in crazy and like adult leagues, rec leagues till I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
But I faced my Waterloo came in Minneapolis in 1995.
Really?
At Lowry Park. Pickup basketball, and I was challenged, and I got into a little thing with a guy who was a lot bigger than me, and what would normally just be trash talk, I was 30, he was probably 25, and it was the first time I ever blinked, and I was like, this guy will kick my ass.
Yeah, it was at Lowry Park.
And he means it.
Yeah, that's a rite of passage.
Yeah, and I
scuffle.
And I turned away from it, and then I just went like it was like the slow Charlie Brown walk all the way back to my hotel. I was like, I've crossed the route. I'm an old man now. I'm no longer competitive the way I want to be.
Yeah, you want to be. That's when you do. Hey, man, I'm just out here for cardio.
Yeah,
cardio.
Oh, if I couldn't, if I'd gone with that at that particular moment, I would have been laughed back to the hotel. I had to leave with a modicum of some self-respect. Not able to do much more than that. Acme Comedy tonight and tomorrow night. Greg Coleman, were you there the last couple nights then?
Yeah. Wednesday night and Thursday night had great shows. I packed them up. Brought in a couple friends here. We sold those out.
Right on. They say the midweek crowds are the real comedy crowds, like in quotes, like not so much the touristy weekenders, but those are the people that are like, no, I'm getting in. man.
Those are the people who want to see the sausage.
Yeah.
Wednesday, they definitely saw a lot of sausage.
That was my next question.
Yeah, because those are the days where it's like, hey, I'm glad that you're here. And like a piece of me was like, oh, we're sold all the way out.
Yeah.
I should present, the full the full package.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, we're going to do half and half. 30 things I know that work, and then another 30 where it's like, you got your money's worth.
See.
Let's try it out. Come back Saturday and see it all bowed up.
Yeah. That's so it's always a work in progress, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how I like to kind of like keep it flowing. I like each show to kind of have its own, personality. Like you can come on Wednesday and then come on Saturday and be like, it was a kind of totally different presentation. You know what I mean?
Sure, of course. No, you worked through it. Was there, when you were first getting started, I would think this is almost like a line you want, or a moment you want to have, which is you do a set and then you walk off and go, oh, I was just rehashing the exact same thing, because you had enough material where then you sort of forgot to be in the moment, and like you could, it's like you're a pro when you can almost fake it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean that's how music works.
Yeah, that's how Wednesday worked too. Like a lot of times, like because you'll see the faces and like, well, I'm not sure where we're going, and then everyone like I'll flip a switch and I'll be listen, will you trust me?
Yeah, right.
Like
right.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean.
Yep.
So that's sometimes I say a bit too much in the moment.
Okay.
And not be like, hey, man, just go with the things. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
sure, let's go.
Yeah.
So, Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Long-suffering Vikings fan. That's what everyone is. What about this quarterback thing, man? I mean, are you sweating it, or is it just rolling water off a duck's back?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard me. I said I got 2 kids and a dog.
Hey, how does the dog feel about those babies coming into the house and disrupting his flow?
I mean, for the most, he doesn't get all the walks that he wants, but he gets a lot more food.
Yeah, a lot of dino nuggets and a lot of mac and cheese. And
tons of them. He loves my son right now.
Yeah,
he's all about him. He's like, this dude is dropping food, and he's still like taller than him, so he can go in for the face licks.
Sure.
And the kisses. And my daughter, like, she's cool with him. Like, we finally be like, hey, stop grabbing his tail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So she knows that.
That's a good one.
But yeah, he's cool. He's protective.
Are you and mom noticing that you're eating way too much kids' food in a day too? Because man, I was eating nuggets for like 4 years, and one day realized I don't have to eat my kids' food. I can make my own.
That's true. Like I do a majority of the cooking, so it's kind of like instead of chicken nuggets, dinos, they'll be like full out chicken strips.
Oh, there you go.
Like I'll try to maneuver it.
Excellent.
So the food, I stay kind of more adult-like, but like my playlist is completely like all kids. Like it's weird. Like I'll have like 2 of my songs that stay in here.
Yeah.
It'll be like a little bit like Kendrick Lamar, but then a lot of trolls.
Yeah.
Like trolls.
Sure.
And then Rain.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm an old man now. I listen to Rain.
Sure.
Like, I didn't know that's a thing. People like, yo, Greg, look at your phone. I'm like, no, don't pull up my Spotify. Someone else hook it up. Like I was listening to Trolls soundtrack on the way in here. My kids weren't even here. They weren't even here. It was just like it felt. I was like, oh, perfect.
Hey, man, absolutely true story. I remember driving in Los Angeles, and I had a Winnie the Pooh cassette, and it was just playing, and I didn't even notice. And I was alone in the car, and it's all the songs from Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, I'm literally like on Ventura Boulevard, and suddenly I'm like, I don't have to be listening to this right now. What am I doing? You just get into a zone like,
it was just kind of like on, and I was just like, I looked in my rearview mirror. I was like, my kids are not in the car.
Yeah, that's it.
I can listen to cussing music.
Cussing music. That's the line right there.
I know. I wish I didn't. I still do every once in a while. Like there's songs that slip in my dog. I was like, how do you know this?
Oh, sure.
Like, yeah, it was weird. She was singing Kendrick Lamar the other day, and I was just like,
it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be. Like,
Kendrick's
at least I'll try
real,
to throw
man.
her like good like, hey, here goes some good music. Like, you know what I mean? Like on all sides. I'll throw her on a little AC/DC. She likes one of those songs. Throw on some Temptations. She likes, you know, so I'll try to slide even some of my old school stuff in there. So she feels like, you know, well-rounded.
Yeah.
But for the most part, man, it's a lot of trolls, a lot of Nancy Ezram.
I remember talking to somebody about maybe playing on their record, and I said, well, what have you been listening to lately? And I literally was like, the Wiggles.
Yeah,
that's all I could come up with. That's all I could come up with.
Yeah. Gracie's Corner. That's the saving grace. I don't know if you guys know about this.
Don't know that,
dude. It's like the most urban dope beats, but it's kids. Like it's a veggie song, but you're like, yo, this is like some Chicago house music. Really? Like, you can bop. Like, even a couple of they're like, yo, what? I was like, Gracie's Corner, fam. Like we bopping and learning. What do you know?
First concert you ever saw? What was it? Like a big one, like in an arena. You know, someone legit huge artist.
Okay, I'm trying to think. I might have made this up in my head, but I think I went to the Michael Jackson Bad concert in 1988 at the Met Center.
Wow.
Or maybe I'm just putting that together. I do know I saw DC Talk at a hotel in DC. I know them. DC Talk was early. I for sure remember seeing Hammer.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, like probably 92 legit.
Were you wearing those big pants?
I didn't have the big pants. All pants were big. I was skinny. I was a small little kid.
Okay.
But yeah, I do remember Hammer.
Boy, Hammer had a hot minute, didn't he?
Dude, it's so funny now because Hammer's kind of had a resurgence.
Yeah.
And the stories, because like back in the day, people were like, oh, Hammer's just this corny dude. But now like you hear like in the rap world, they're like, you didn't mess with Hammer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, Hammer is like, they're like Suge Knight didn't mess
Come
with Hammer.
on, I've never heard that.
He's from Oakland. Like, he rolled with 100, and his name was Hammer.
Well, that's true. If you're going to take that name.
Yeah, they were like, it was from the Saints when he was a ball boy, but it was like, nah, Hammer used to.
You know what it was? He was on Arsenio Hall so much, I just didn't take him seriously like that he had that street. But then you say Oakland,
Yeah, but it was a great strategy of like, yo, I'm straight up from the hood, but hey, I got a morning cartoon, I got cereal.
Yeah, sure.
Like, who knows what was in those baggy pants?
Hey, man.
Nunchucks.
Man, no kidding.
Who knows?
Greg Coleman is at Acme tonight and tomorrow. There's a 7 and a 9:30.
Yeah.
It is always a pleasure, man. You know you're always welcome.
I appreciate it, man. It's good. It's good to be in here 2 times. And
we're gonna have a quick look back. I'll show you this. It is August 16th. On this day in 1948, Babe Ruth passed away. He was only 53.
Yeah.
He died in 1948, and everybody, including like my children and your children, will one day know who he was.
Yeah, the Babe, the Salt and the SWAT.
I mean, just as big as an iconic sportsman as there's ever been in this country. 6,000 people 3 days later were at his funeral in St. Patrick's Cathedral. 75,000 people outside the church.
Damn. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
75,000 people outside the church.
That's a lot.
He was buried in a oak coffin. His body was wrapped in sausage casing. I just made that part up. So you know he loved a hot dog like no one's business.
A hot dog and a cigarette.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.